Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the new Dragon Ball Super Chapter 89. So originally I wasn't planning on reviewing this chapter because I thought nothing really crazy was going to happen. But it might not be crazy to y'all, but it's hilarious to me. And we're going to get to that. But let me know, leave a like down below if you want to see more Dragon Ball Super Chapter content. Even if nothing happens, I'll still cover it if you guys want me to. And leave a comment down below about what you want me to review and stuff like that. And what y'all think about the new chapter. So the chapter starts off with Trunks actually looking at the computer that they got from the lab in the last chapter, and we get to see the blueprints for Cell Max, which was very, very nice to see. When I first saw it, I thought I was tripping for a second. I was like, yo, how does is this take place before Dragon Ball Superhero? But I remember no, this takes place after Dragon Ball Superhero because Hedo's out of jail and stuff like that, and he's going around and has his own warehouse and stuff like that. This definitely takes place after Dragon Ball Superhero, and I thought it was really cool that we got to see Cell Max the blueprints for it. It was just a little Easter egg. And we move on to see Bra. So we haven't seen Bra ever since she was born, but this is the first time we're really getting to see her kind of older, not a baby. She's a little toddler or whatever, but already they even joke about it that Trunks and the Trunks in this timeline isn't the smartest guy or whatever. He's not future Trunks, which future Trunks had to mature and is a lot more adult because of all the trauma and all the stuff that happens in the future. So it makes sense why these Trunks act totally different. And Trunks right now acts like kid Trunks from the Buu Saga and Super, just older and stuff like that. And he's not as smart. In this series, one thing that we're learning is that all the Trunkses are back then they used to be really similar. We had GT Trunks, which GT Trunks is supposed to be he goofs off a little bit, but he's still smart. They talk about it a lot in GT that he's still very smart and definitely part of being Bulma's kid, basically one of the smart ones and one of the strong ones, taking after both his father and his mother. But the reason that he doesn't want to be a CEO is that he wants to explore the world and not have to be stuck at Capsule Corp. But this Dragon Ball Super Trunks, he's more a goofball. He's in love with Mai, and he's more I just want to goof around in high school and be a superhero. So he's Saiyaman, I believe Saiyaman X1 and stuff like that, and he's basically a superhero, and that's what he wants to do. He's motivated by Gohan, which I like to see. Is that Gohan being Saiyaman back in the Buu Saga really inspired Goten and Trunks to also want to be superheroes, which I really, really like. And they also try to not they do it because they actually want to help people, and they don't really care about they want to make sure they want to do it to help you, but they're not exposing their identities and stuff like that. They're trying to hide it and stuff like that so that their lives are still not crazy or whatever. But there's a joke later on that kind of shows that Goten kind of doesn't care. But it was funny. But we're going to continue on. So while Bulma's there talking to Trunks and Bra's there trying to fix the computer that Trunks messed up, Bulma sends Mai to school with Trunks because it would look suspicious if Mai is the same age as Trunks at Capsule Corp and is not also going to school, which y'all need to remember. If y'all don't remember, Pilaf Gang, they all wish to become younger. I don't remember if it was on accident or on purpose. And basically they work at Capsule Corp, and Bulma and everybody knows about how they're actually they accidentally wish to be younger or whatever. Bulma knows that they're supposed to be older than they actually look. She doesn't want it to look suspicious that Mai's not going to school. So basically this is the way that Toyotaro basically forces Mai to go to school with Trunks, and so we can have a little hijinks, a little bit of hijinks. So Mai's there, she gets introduced to all of Trunks' friends and sits next to him and stuff like that. But then we get introduced to this character named Bata. I'm gonna say it that I don't know if it's pronounced that way, but I like saying it that way. So we have Bata, which he's basically a new kid that joined the same day as Mai, and Mai's already suspicious of him, and Trunks is thinking oh, Mai, you like him, you got a crush on him. It's some small hijinks. But what I want to talk about is the coolest moment I have seen in Dragon Ball in a minute. And it's dumb. You might not care about it. Yeah, but it's funny to me, and it's probably the funniest thing I've seen, is that we have Trunks playing basketball. If y'all don't know, I love basketball. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. It's one of my favorite things to watch, the NBA and stuff like that. And I was not expecting Dragon Ball to have a basketball moment. One of the corniest things that I love is in manga or anime or shows that are not basketball shows or basketball anime or stuff like that, to have basketball moments, the basketball moment in Catwoman, the basketball moment in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now we have basketball in this Trunks arc. And I love seeing it because I love seeing superpowered individuals play basketball with people that they're not supposed to be playing basketball with and just bodying. And we see Trunks playing basketball with one of his friends, and we see he got a mad jumper. He got a mad jumper. I like seeing it. He doesn't even jump all the way off the ground. He does a one-legged jumper, and that was so nice to see. It was just, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, but I love seeing it, and I'm glad Dragon Ball is doing it because I just want to see. I just love seeing basketball in stuff that's not supposed to have basketball in it. And his Trunks friend even talks about how, like, what you do, why you doing so good today, and he's like, because I usually hold back, but you know, I gotta show off of mine, stuff like that. And while Trunks is like, after he hits that jumper and he gets the ball back, he sees Bata comes in, steals the ball, and Trunks is pissed. Trunks like, nah, I am not letting this man do me like that in front of mine. And he teleports in front of Bata, and while he's hitting that jumper, and Bata, like, while he's about to hit this jumper, decides to actually do a freaking layup. Like, he goes in and does a layup, and then it goes in, like, doing the fuck out of Trunks. That shit, oh my god, he did Trunks so dirty. Like, I gotta tell y'all this again. This man stole a ball from a Super Saiyan, went up, the Super Saiyan tried to block him. He does an underhanded layup over him, and it's kind of an and one because he went under Trunks' arm and his arm kind of touched him, so it was an and one. And then Trunks is just in the air looking shook, and that was so funny. And the only thing that ruins it for me is that later on we learned that Bata is like an android. And that kind of made me sad because I wish that he was just a normal human, because that would have been so funny if you got done by a normal nigga. Like, just, oh my god, it was so funny. It was the funniest thing of this chapter. I saw it on Twitter, like I wasn't rushing to read the chapter, and then I saw a panel of Trunks playing basketball and I had to read it, and then I saw that, and it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like, if I got done like that in front of especially like in front of my girl, like, bro, come on, man. That was funny. That was really, really funny. But because of the scene, Mai learns that Bata's basically like an android because she's like looking at his eyes and can obviously tell that that man's an android. He literally has like camera eyes and stuff like that. And we find out that the one watching behind the camera is Dr. Hedo. And basically they're trying to find the dude that took the disc from Hedo's lab. And so Hedo sent Bata to the high school to try and find the person that stole the disc, and just knows that that person goes to the high school because because Hedo found the school badge, I believe, last chapter and stuff like that. So that's why he sent Bata there. And it's really, really funny. So basically there's an android here, and like he even talks in his ear and even like does all these like weird things with his eyes, but yet no one notices except Mai. And then Trunks doesn't notice until Mai tells him. So basically Mai's like, yo, like this guy is obviously an android. Like, literally look at the back of his neck. He literally has stitches on the back of his neck, and he has camera eyes. And Trunks is like, oh yeah, it's that, okay. He's basically like, oh yeah, it's a ghoul. And I'm like, bro, how did you, like, it's crazy that Mai was the one that figured that out before him, because they're basically trying to emphasize that Trunks is not the smart one in this book. Like, in this like Dragon Ball Super, he's different from like Dragon Ball the future Trunks, and he's different from like GT Trunks and stuff like that. But basically, like, Trunks is figuring out, because Bata keeps trying to like compromise him and reveal his identity. He's trying to figure out like, yo, like, Trunks got to be the one that's like the one that stole the disc, and I want him to expose himself so that I can actually like confirm it's him, so that I can beat him, because they don't know who it is still, but he thinks he's like 99% sure it's Trunks. And so the rest of the chapter, you see him trying to like, you see Bata try to like freaking like sabotage Trunks. Like, he threw a football at him, and then Trunks knows the football's coming, so dodges it, and then gets hit by it the right way to where Bata gets hit by it. And then they also go to a cafeteria, and Bata tries to throw a whole like big portion of jumbo on freaking Trunks, and then Trunks just like weaves it and puts it in his jumbo, and he's like, yeah, like, there's like, they go through a lot of hijinks and stuff like that. They even have a math off, which I don't understand what was gonna like reveal to Bata that like Trunks is the guy if he is so smart, but Bata ends up like getting the questions right while Trunks freaking bombs it. They have a little joke where like Dr. Hedo's like actually like happy that like Trunks messed up the problem, because they're just fumbling so bad on trying to figure out if Trunks is the Saiyan Man, and says he needs a moral victory. I thought that was funny. we also see like Balta has another plan where he's gonna sabotage Trunks by throwing this big like wooden thing on him, and he's gonna like force him to dodge it. And while he's about to do that, he sees that Goten like throws a tennis ball under a car, and then realizes like, dang, I dropped my tennis ball. And so he it's actually a baseball. He drops it like a baseball. So he drops the baseball, and it's underneath the car, and he's like, damn, I can't reach it, I'll just pick up the car. And he didn't realize that Balta was like right behind him, so he just sees Goten, this 18-year-old, just pick up this giant car. And even the two girls that like, even like two other girls, like people that are part of like doing tennis, saw Goten do it, and he's just like, oh man, I messed up. And that shit made me like happy, because it was just like, that shit made me laugh, because Goten is the type of person that's like just gonna like do something like that. Like Goten's a lot more carefree than Trunks, so it was just funny to see that. And that basically like confirms to Balta that like, oh man, Goten's got to be the one that stole the disc. And so he transformed into his superhero identity called Beta 1, because you know, Dr. Hedo loves superheroes and superheroes, stuff like that, and wants all of his like androids to look like superheroes and stuff like that. And so he's about to fight Goten right now, and he starts charging at Goten, and Goten's just bobbing and weaving and not trying to attack him, because he's not trying to also like expose that like, yo, I'm also like super powered and stuff like that. Commands Goten to hand the disc, and even's like trying to hit him and stuff like that. And Goten's just dodging and dodging, and he's not trying to hit him, but he's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to swing on him. And Trunks realizes that like, while Balta's like distracted, he goes and like switches into a superhero identity and comes back and like saves Goten from having to like expose himself. And he also gives like Goten like his costume to go change and stuff like that. And so Saiyan Man 1, which is Trunks and Beta start like fighting and stuff like that. And Trunks is just like clearing Beta, like obviously like way stronger than this android, which was funny to see, because Dr. Hedo made Gamma 1 and 2, which are arguably, like they said constantly in the movie, that they're on the same strength as Goku and Vegeta at that point, and yet like he doesn't make as strong as androids for the other ones. I'm guessing because he doesn't have the materials to do it. But basically like Trunks and Beta are having a little fight and stuff like that, and Trunks also not trying to expose that he's Saiyan Man to even Mai, which I thought was weird. That like he doesn't want to expose his identity to everyone, which I can understand a little bit, because I think they said in the last chapter or the chapter before that like they're trying to keep their superhero identity a secret from everybody, because they would get in trouble from like their mom, because Bulma doesn't want them doing stuff like that. And so that's why one of the reasons why they're trying to hide it to other people and stuff like that. But basically we're at the climax of the chapter, and Beta basically turns into like this combined machine with this robot called Beta 2, which is basically like a giant like transformer. And like he's about to blow up the school, because he knows Trunks can like handle it. He keeps blowing up the school so that Trunks can get distracted and stuff like that. And he's just basically being a dickhead and stuff like that. And Trunks is like beating him up and stuff like that, and Mai ends up falling and tripping, and she ends up dropping the secret disc, and Beta sees that and grabs Mai to basically like capture her so that they can take the disc back to the warehouse. And Trunks wants to stop Beta but can't, because Beta is like throwing a bunch of missiles at the innocent children at the school, which is kind of crazy. Like, it was mad surprising when just like Beta just throws all these missiles at these children, and like if Trunks doesn't like protect them, like they'll literally die, which was like a crazy moment to me. And Mai is about to get taken away by Beta, and Goten finally shows up in like his Saiyan Man costume and decides to hold on, like to beat basically Beta 2, while Trunks is like clearing out Beta 1, and he clears him out, beats him, like leaves him in his freaking underwear, and saves Mai. And we have this like little moment where Mai recollects and sees like future Trunks, and it's kind of weird. I thought that was kind of weird, but anywho, it's like, it's weird. Okay, let me talk about it. It's weird because Mai in this story is supposed to be like an adult that turned into a child. This is the Mai from Dragon Ball, and it's weird that like they keep forcing this relationship between Trunks and Mai. In the future timeline, it was whatever, because Trunks was an adult at that time, and also like Mai was like old. She's an adult though. Like, they're both consenting adults. But here it's kind of weird that like they're making Trunks from this timeline have a crush on this Mai, because like she's like way older than him, and he's literally like 16, 17, and it's kind of weird that they're trying to like ship them together. Like, even though she got turned into a child, that doesn't mean that like she has the mind of a child. It was just weird. It's just weird. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna talk about. I don't want. I'm gonna stop talking about it. But it's like weird that they keep doing this. But whatever. But they basically like save the day and stuff like that. And Mai is like basically like fantasizing or like saying like, oh my god, like that Saiyaman one was so cool. He reminded me of someone. And Trunks is like, oh, like he reminds you of someone. Oh, I'm about to like he's about to tell her his identity, so like she'll like him and stuff like that. And then Goten like stops Trunks from doing that because remember they're supposed to hide their identity, and they're literally by like a bunch of people. He was like, yo, like you're about to reveal your identity to everybody. And basically the chapter ends. The chapter ends with Beta going back to Hedo, and basically like they're about to work on another idea. One thing, this chapter was pretty good. I liked it. Like I was mad surprised by the basketball. That's what made the chapter for me. I thought it was really, really funny. I think I said everything I wanted to say. This chapter was really funny. I liked seeing the basketball. I liked seeing Bata, whatever. Like I thought it was really, really funny, and I like this slice of life stuff. It's pretty interesting. Like I'm actually like excited to see what's happening next chapter. I want to see what characters we're gonna see, like who's like time skipped up, and like who we're gonna see and stuff like that. And I like this chapter a lot, and I'm mostly saying that because I like seeing the basketball. Just the basketball panel, the 3 basketball panels made me laugh so much. So that'd be it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe, want to see more content like this, and hit that bell button, post it consistently. And let me know when y'all want to talk about. Let me know what y'all want me to talk about. If y'all got any mangas I should check out, or what you think about the Dragon Ball Super chapter. But I'm gonna see you guys next time. Peace.